Hey, welcome to Vice Grip Garage. A little bit different of a video for you today. We got a lot of exciting stuff to cover on the Chevelle back here, so you need to relax a little bit. It's like Garth Brooks once said, it's the roar of a Sunday crowd. That's not applicable right now, man. Moving on. In the last video of the independent Chevelle here, I actually let you guys determine what kind of build we were going to do by commenting down there, and that was pretty unanimous, so we're going to cover that in a minute. And then I think we'll scoot around the rig and kind of show you where we're at and what I'm thinking for parts and an engine, and I'll try to get you dialed in. And then I even got a couple events for you. I'm going to shoot those out there so maybe you can, show up and see the car and whatnot. Before we get started though, let me learn you up on some history on this old girl. And that's what I like about these old cars and trucks and saving them is they've all got a story to tell, and some of them will just bring you right down to your knee. A nice lady named Rhonda reached out to me on the FaceSpace page there, and I'll be dipped if this wasn't her ride back in the late 80s, early 90s. Her kids grew up in the thing. Her daddy actually built her the car on a budget like all of us do, and let me tell you what, fellers, this thing looked good back then. I mean, she had shine and the wheels and the whole 9 yards. He did a good job. But unfortunately, he passed away a few years back, and when she saw it again, it really saddened her to see what it looks like today with all the neglect and abuse and what the owners after her have done to it. So I did the right thing and promised her I was going to bring her back no matter what it took. If not just for one more full send, put this thing out in a blaze of glory. And that's what we're going to do with her. The good news is the event that I have picked, including weekends, I've only got 24 days to do it. I'm sure, it'll work out. All right, so the moment that 13.6 of you have been waiting for, based on your comments, she's going to be a burnout car. And that's just fine with me. That means all the geographical engineering, science, and bent sticks up here that make it turn, I don't have to worry about any of that stuff. We just need a lot of horsepower, some pipes, and some tires in the back, and I could do that in my sleep, so I ain't worried about that part. So let's take a walk around this thing, and I'll kind of let you know what I'm thinking. But of course, I'm relying on your guys' feedback and comments and tips, because I've never built the burnout car, and while I could do burnouts 7 days a week, including evenings, except for Sundays, I've never done them confined into a concrete box before. So this is going to be, it's going to basically, we're going to hit the wall, is what I'm saying. So help me. It's important. Well, let's dig right into the cockpit here. I did get the glove box open with the 74-foot crowbar, and nothing in there but that sales tax form that was never turned in. That's fine. If you're looking for a blue bench seat in really good shape, I'm for saling this, so let me know if you need that. But here I'm just thinking we'll strip down the door panels, front and rear. You don't need any of that stuff. We'll put some poly seats in it, and then I'm going to snip in a harness bar, and we'll throw some harnesses in it. You don't want to slide over to the drinker side coming into a skid at 102. It's not good news. And the other thing is the harness bar in here, that's going to be the only thing keeping the body from sliding off the frame, because I think I'll go right down to the frame with it. None of this matters up here. I'm just going to put a 17-inch tack up here with a shift light as big as a trash can lid for no reason. Let's go back to the trunk area. And I kind of did a thing back here, there was a couple holes, and I just kind of took the lightning scissor and zzz. I mean, the metal was fine. It's just, I needed to do something for fuel, and I'm thinking a fuel cell, and then maybe electro-digital pump and some filters back here. I don't know, you look at them race machines, there's just fittings and hoses. So if you've got any ideas for a fuel cell or a pump or any of that stuff, let me know. Just keep in mind, I plan on fire coming out of this region and lots of fire out of this region. So I wanted to get the fuel, we got to bring her up somehow. Oh, the rear end here, this is where I need some of your guys' help. I know there's a calculation about wheel speed and top speed, or I don't know. Just, I need the gear ratio. Obviously, we gotta lock her up. I'll probably just pop that off and zzz, 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 you know, hook them up for good. And then I want to bring this back the way that Alan had it. He had some 295s just hanging out of this thing. So I mocked this up with my tire mocker 55, and that's kind of got her sitting where I want it. And I'll probably just go on ahead and leave the sacked out coil springs in there. But we'll put some new air shocks back in her, you know, like some old Monroes. You can still get them. You got to look a little bit on the eBays and whatnot. And then that'll, psst, you know, we can bring her up so we can get this look. And then when we go to blow the tires off, we can go, psst, you know, and tuck her up. So that's kind of the rear setup here. I kind of like that look where there's skinnies up front here, you know, that it just screams 70s, 80s. So I'm thinking maybe 5 or 7 inch wide wheels up here. And of course we'll have a good going to town set, and then we'll just swap the rears out when we do burnouts. And then if you remember from the previous videos, all the steering, you know, sticks and science up here, it's bad and wrong. So I'm going to do the right thing and just fix none of that at all. And then on the A-arms, the bushings are shot. I'm missing spacers. Everything's loose. And I'm also just going to ignore that. But I will put some ball joints in it, and then I think we need those dinner plate brakes, you know, the disc flavor, so the fronts really hook up, and that'll give us a kickstart to our burnouts there. But that's really it for the front end. I plan on really doing nothing fancy up here. Might even be able to get away with the same booster and everything else. The paint on this thing, and I think we all agree, you know, this has got to stay. We got to keep this. She's a little bit rough. She could probably, you know, take a wash, but I'm going to figure out a way to preserve on this a little bit. It's taken a lot of years to get this way. This is fine. You know, I'll just run some tape down that. I think on the other side, the fender, I'm going to replace it. This one she's tight, but this one over here has got some floppage, and the only thing I want flying off of this is rods. See, she's just a little too floppy. So I might replace this one and then figure out how to, you know, match on her as best as I can. Hood will stay the same. I also want to try to find some of this red color so I can get in here where it's kind of the tan, you know, and just not a lot, just enough to get some more red back in her, you know. Leave the rust stuff. This is fine. And then I'm thinking once I get her, you know, looking snazzy, I'm just going to bake her down with some clear, and that'll preserve on it a little bit more. But that's really it for the body. I plan on doing absolutely nothing else. And I hope it leaks severely and the wind noise is just bad. Well, we did end up, what am I stepping in? We moseyed our way up to the front end here and got us up to the engine and transmission. And I called up Harman Transmission like I usually do, and he knows how I like to test on rigs. So we're going to get rid of the Turbo 350, and he's going to build me a bulletproof 400. And I mean, she's just going to be made to, you know, handle some abuse. Probably around a 3,000 stall. We'll have to wait and see what the engine spits out. And then one of them Top Gun shifters, you know, we'll hook that in the cabin somewhere. Since the channel started, I've been asked about 176,912 times. And I'm kind of just, you know, I'm giving in. The time's finally come. I'm going to show you guys how to make some pretty serious horsepower out of a big block Chevy. And we're going to do that on a budget, with the exception of the steel tornado. I mean, I got to have probably a roller camshaft in here because I just need to recycle tires on command. And I'm talking, when I lay my polyester loafer on there, I want tire cords to just be shooting, you know, with sparks and things like that. My blood pressure is getting high. So the two events that we for sure have on our calendar is we're going to do the cleetus and cars at Freedom Factory in Florida, and that's going to be awesome. And we're working on a big surprise. I can't say much yet, but you're not going to want to miss it, is what I'm saying. And then we're going to shoot back up to Indianapolis, and we're going to do the cleetus and cars there too. So, you know, throw it on your calendar, but keep in mind the dates are, you know, this means they're up in the air. So you're going to need to check on that, and we'll try to keep you posted on dates as they kind of move around a little bit. But I wanted to shoot this summary video so you kind of see where we're aiming, you know. And the next video coming out is we'll get the frame patched up, and as long as I can keep it from doing this in 5 minutes, that'll be just fine. And then we'll follow up with suspension and the interior and the engine build and you name it. So if you're not subscribed, now's the time to do that. It's going to be a pretty good journey. And if you are, thank you. I appreciate you dearly. And as a reminder, you can pick up your Independence t-shirt here. She's up on the website, vicegripgarage.com, and there's a bunch of other stuff, and capitators and back rags and whatever else. And as always, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. I'm just tracking coolant all over the place in here. I'll never get it up.